I used to let every insult cut me like a knife. Every harsh word, every criticism, every snide comment would replay in my mind for days. I'd lie awake at night, crafting the perfect comeback I should have said. Sound familiar? Then I discovered something that changed everything, a 2,000-year-old philosophy that turns insults into stepping stones. The ancient Stoics had cracked a code that most people never learn, and what I'm about to share with you will make you question everything you thought you knew about handling criticism. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire at its peak, commanding legions and governing millions. Yet this most powerful man in the world wrote in his private journal about something that might surprise you: how to handle insults from his own subjects. Imagine that. The Emperor of Rome, bothered by what people said about him. But here's what's fascinating. He developed a system so effective that it turned every attack into armor. And this wasn't just theory, he lived it every single day under the most intense scrutiny imaginable. Here's what blew my mind when I first learned this. The Stoics believed that the person insulting you is actually giving you a gift. Yes, you heard that right, a gift. But before you think I've lost my mind, let me explain the psychological warfare happening in your brain right now. When someone insults you, your amygdala, that primitive alarm system, screams danger. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles tense, and you're ready for battle. But here's the trap that 99% of people fall into. They think the insult is the problem. The Stoics discovered something revolutionary. The insult itself has zero power. None. It's just there vibrating, or marks on a screen. The real battle isn't with the person insulting you, it's with your own mind. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of history's greatest teachers, put it this way: it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. But there's a deeper layer here that most people miss completely. When you react emotionally to an insult, you're actually proving the insulter right. Think about it. If someone calls you weak and you explode in anger, what have you just demonstrated? If someone questions your intelligence and you respond with a rambling emotional defense, what message are you sending? The Stoics realize that your reaction is your reputation. And this is where it gets really interesting. Marcus Aurelius wrote something in his personal notes that still gives me chills. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? He understood that the damage you do to yourself by reacting poorly far exceeds whatever temporary sting the insult might cause. But here's the part that will change how you see every future insult. The Stoics didn't just ignore insults, they used them as fuel. Here's the counterintuitive truth. Every insult contains valuable information. When someone attacks you, they're often revealing more about themselves than about you. Their insecurities, their fears, their own wounds, all laid bare in their choice of attack. But more importantly, they're giving you a mirror. What if the criticism contains even a grain of truth? What if this uncomfortable moment is actually pointing you toward growth? Here's the Stoic method that transforms insults into power. First, pause. Feel that initial sting, acknowledge it, but don't react. Second, ask yourself, is this true? If it is, thank them for the feedback and improve. If it isn't, why would the opinion of someone who doesn't know you matter? Third, consider the source. Is this person living the kind of life you admire? Are they someone whose judgment you respect? Finally, use it as training. every insult is a sparring session for your emotional resilience. Seneca, the advisor to emperors, practiced something called voluntary discomfort. He would deliberately put himself in situations where he might face criticism or hardship. Why? Because he understood that strength comes from practice, not from avoiding challenges. When you start viewing insults as training opportunities, something magical happens. They lose their power over you completely. The most powerful realization I've had is this: when you master the Stoic approach to insults, you don't just become bulletproof, you become magnetic. People are drawn to those who remain calm under pressure, who respond to attacks with wisdom rather than emotion. You become the person others wish they could be. The ancient Stoics understood that true strength isn't about having the perfect comeback or winning every argument. It's about being so secure in who you are that the opinions of others become as relevant as the weather, something you acknowledge but don't let control your day. This is the path to unshakable inner peace, and it starts with the very next person who tries to bring you down.